Is it still worth it to buy property in the UK?
don't know how many years do you think I should spend in the UK before thinking about mortgage?
Right now, so many big spenders, for example, Lloyds Bank, BlackRock, they are buying up thousands of properties in the UK.
I think from what I've read so far, it's always women pushing for this mortgage thing.
And that tells you one thing. The UK is still a safe place.
And a case where a woman who is on COS is pushing the husband, but the man feels like, I don't think that's the next thing on the list. What advice would you give that kind of?
My wife wants us to buy a new build.
Mm-hmm.
My wife said their friend just bought a new build.
Exactly.
I'm telling my wife, let us buy old build and refurb it small so our monthly repayment is low. My wife say she wants a new build by all means. My advice to them is consider affordability, but nobody ever takes that advice.
Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing something very, very interesting, something that concerns you and me and everyone as immigrant in the UK. We're going to be discussing about the mortgage in the UK. What are the misconceptions about mortgage? Why should you get a mortgage? And today on the show, I have brought to you a man of timber and caliber. He knows his onions. He's very good at what he does to the show to tell us what we need to know about mortgage, the misunderstanding or misconception about mortgage. Everything is going to clarify to us on this show. And should I call you Honorable or what should I call you? Can we meet you, please?
Thank you very much, Father. Hi, everyone. My name is Ola. My full name is Ola Tomide. I'm a property investor, and I'm part of an independent property group in the UK where we help professionals and property investors get into property. And I'm with Falo in the studio today, and we're going to be talking about property and mortgage unfiltered, and particularly focusing on immigrants.
Thank you very much. That word unfiltered is very, very key. And to start with, why should I get a mortgage? Do you think it's better to live in a house where I pay rent monthly or get a mortgage? Why do you think I should get a mortgage? Let's start with that.
Man, Falo, it's a difficult question to answer. And the reason is, should I get a mortgage or should I continue to pay rent? A lot of people start thinking about mortgage because you don't want to continue to pay your landlord. But mortgage is beyond just the financial part. There is the lifestyle part to it. So when you're thinking about a mortgage, or if you want to stop renting, apart from being able to afford that mortgage, there's so many other things involved. You're thinking about family, you're thinking about your kids. You want your kids to be settled down in the environment, in the neighborhood. You want to stop changing addresses. Sometimes you cannot place a value on those things. So even if you pay more for the mortgage, it makes it completely worth it, because that is what your lifestyle requires at that point in time. But the reason you are getting a mortgage should not just be because, oh, I don't want to continue to pay my landlord. So let me start. Let me break it down now.
Who should get a mortgage? Who
should get a mortgage? Anybody that is starting to think about security. Anybody thinking about, I want to settle down. And it's different for everybody. So Falo, you now, if you're not married, you are single, you're hustling, you are moving from London, Southampton to Birmingham tomorrow, getting a mortgage is not on top of your list. But let's say Madam Day house, 2 pikin day, you're expecting a third one. The previous house where you did, you've had to move houses because your landlord wanted to sell. Your wife is close to giving birth again. At that point, you might feel like, yes, maybe it makes more sense to actually have a house of my own. Plus, I can afford it.
Affordability. So I want to ask the question now. What are the requirements of getting a mortgage in the UK?
Good question. The requirement is, there are some standard requirements for getting a mortgage in the UK. Number one is the affordability. The lender wants to see that you are in full-time employment. the longer you have been in that employment, the better for you.
Mm-hmm.
The lender wants to see that you have a good credit score and you have address history.
Mm.
It means that you are traceable. Not that you have just been jumping addresses or you don't have a track record. So most importantly, they want to see that you can afford it.
Mm-hmm. So when they say that if you cannot pay your mortgage for probably a month or so, the bank takes your property. Is that really true?
It is true. It is true.
Can you explain that, please?
Yes. So the way a mortgage works is, this is a house.
Mm-hmm.
Let us call this house 100%.
Okay.
You want to buy this house, let us give it a price, £200,000.
Okay.
You will now speak to the seller or the developer to say, I want this house, how much is it? 200,000. You will then ask a bank to loan you part of the money to buy the house.
Mm-hmm.
The bank will now say, bring some deposits, maybe 5%, maybe 10%, just so you can put something down. Let us say you now put 5% down, maybe 10k out of the 200.
Mm-hmm.
The bank will now give you £190,000
To complete.
the 200,000,
Mm-hmm.
so that the previous owner gets paid in full, or the developer. So this house now you and the bank
Get down.
Now your name dey the house,
Mm-hmm.
but the bank will put something called a charge on the house.
Mm.
Which means that now them get 190,000 inside the house. You go sign some agreements, which is called your mortgage documents.
Mm-hmm.
Within those agreements, if you default,
Mm.
the bank can force a sale. Make I say am again. If you default, the bank can sell that house. So is it true that the bank can sell your house if you miss your mortgage payments? Yes.
So if they now sell the house, are they going to give you the money you've been paying? Like maybe you've paid up to like 30% and you're unable to continue that payments, and now the bank has probably sold the land. Are they going to refund you the ones you've paid?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
However, the money will not be complete, depending on how long you've lived in the house.
Hmm.
So if the bank has a reason to force a sale,
Mm-hmm.
you will be responsible for how much they spend selling that house.
So in clear terms, this is the whole mortgage thing is just like renting an apartment or renting a house.
It looks like it.
Okay.
So when you are renting from your landlord, when you are renting from your landlord, let us say this landlord.
So do you want to take this closer a little bit?
So this landlord buys a house on a mortgage
Mm-hmm.
from the bank. This landlord then rents the house to you.
Okay.
You pay rent to the landlord. The landlord pays interest to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
When you buy your own house on a mortgage, what you have done is you have removed that middleman.
Mm-hmm.
So it is now you and the bank.
Okay.
So you are paying interest and capital back to the bank. If at any reason you don't meet up your quota,
Mm-hmm.
like we did,
Because with this explanation, to me personally, it's not looking too interesting, honestly, because it means like I'm still paying my rent, and like I heard, I'm not sure of that. Even after 10 years or after 20 years of completing the payment, if you want to sell the property, you still have to pay tax. So do you think it's still worth it?
is it still worth it to buy property in the UK? 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, so many big spenders, for example, Lloyds Bank, BlackRock, they are buying up thousands of properties in the UK. And that tells you one thing. The UK is still a safe place to invest in property. When you buy your personal house, even though it's not an investment per se, but for your family, it's a level of investment. Because over the long term, the appreciation on that house, so for example, that 200k house that we were talking about, if in the period of 10 to 15 years, it goes from 200k to 400,000. Now you, will be the owner, get that increase. So as prices they go up, you go they happy because now your money inside the house too they go up.
Okay, now let's bring this back to our bash. I'm more concerned about this our bash of immigrants. What's the duration, or how many years do you think I should spend in the UK before thinking about mortgage? Because I've heard stories of people come to the country 6 months and they have their mortgage, and it feels like mortgage is a big achievement. But I'm still going to come back to that, if mortgage is a big achievement actually. But for this our own bash of immigrants, let's say 2-3 years ago, when do you think is the right time to think about mortgage?
The right time to be thinking about mortgage is when you feel settled enough and when you are convinced you can afford it.
So it's not something anyone should rush into?
It is not something anybody should rush into. But at the same time, it is not something you should live for too long. So you have to find that middle ground. So for somebody now, some people are comfortable with having emergency savings of 3 months. For somebody else to sleep at night, they must have emergency savings of 6 months. In fact, some people to feel comfortable to sleep and know they hustle every time they pick shift, they need 12-month emergency savings. So it is different for everybody. So if you're at that point in your life, maybe it's you and your madam, sit down together. How much is this thing going to cost us? If, for example, I lose my job or you lose your job, what will happen to the house that you have bought?
Talk about madam. I think from what I've read so far, it's always women pushing for this mortgage thing. Now, in a case where a woman who is on COS is pushing the husband or advising the husband, disturbing the husband, about let's get mortgage. But the man feels like, I don't think that's the next thing on the list. What advice would you give that kind of family? That's still on COS.
This is a question I get asked every time when I'm speaking with a lot of married men. My wife wants us to buy a house. My wife wants us to buy a new build. My wife said their friend just bought a new build.
Exactly.
I'm telling my wife, let us buy old build and refurb it small so our monthly repayment is low. My wife say she wants a new build by all means. My advice to them is consider affordability, but nobody ever takes that advice. In the end, the purpose of the house sometimes is for you and the madam. If she's not happy, you say no go there happy. So it's about finding that balance. But from a logical point of view, think about how much of your income needs to go into housing and shelter. For some families, it's like 30%. For some people, it's like 50%. But make sure, say, your mortgage payment is not going to 90%, 80% of your income. At that point, you are overstretching yourself. Don't go and borrow money to do it.
Okay.
Because you are overstretching yourself. But if you can afford it, it's a good thing for the family.
This particular question, I hope the women skip this part. You know that this is UK, the Western world. When there's an issue at home, the man will be asked to leave the house. They've got property and comes to divorce, the man is the one losing, or let's say losing, the bigger part. Do you think it's wise for a man who's probably paying the major percentage of the mortgage repayment to get a mortgage in the family's name or in his own personal name?
Like you said, let us hope the madam know that.
Okay, because let me add this option, because for those that probably have business, there are people that maybe the wife is on the COS, and because the partner, the husband, by the virtue of being a dependent, he can have a business, then he has a registered business. Is it a good option to rather use a registered business to get properties or use a family name?
Good question. It is tax efficient and it is better to buy a property in a limited company than in a personal name. However, if it's going to be a property that you want to live in, it has to be in your personal name. It cannot be in a company.
Okay.
So for second properties, it is better in a company name. But for personal house, it still has to be in your name. So it comes down to that your first question. Should it be in a joint name? Or should it be in madam's name? Or should it be in the husband's name? It's a difficult question to answer. Because if something happens in the future, you will divide it. If it's a joint ownership, it doesn't matter who has been paying the mortgage. It doesn't matter who brought in the deposit. Now 50-50, you go start from in terms of if they share the divorce settlement.
So, okay, this, let me not go, I don't want to deep dive that because that can be very, very controversial. So, I want to say now, if a family have probably decided to go ahead with getting mortgage, what is the first step? What should they do? Who should they meet? How should they go about it?
A family or a young couple looking to get into a mortgage, these are the things they need to be looking at. On top of their list is affordability of finances. The first thing you want to do is you want to go on Rightmove, you want to go on Zoopla, and go and check or speak to an estate agent and ask around how much is a property in this area worth. So for example, in London, a property can be worth maybe £500,000. The same property in the north can be worth much lesser, say £200,000, or maybe even 150. So you need to look around your area first. If the properties there are within your price bracket. But the next thing is, how do you know your price bracket? When you want to get a mortgage for personal residence, lenders will do what is called affordability check.
Okay.
So what they do is, for example, if somebody is a carer, you're on a COS, your annual income is like 25k. The lender will now say, you're earning 25k, what I can do is, I will multiply that 25 by 4. That's £100,000. They will then tell you, I can borrow you up to £100,000 to buy a house. If you had your own 5 or 10% or 15% deposit, it means give or take, you can buy a house of around 110, 120.
Okay.
If it is you and your husband, say two of you are even on COS, what they will now do is add the income together and multiply it by 2.
Okay.
Which means both of you together can then buy a bigger house or a more expensive house. So in that case, maybe like 250,000.
So it's always better getting this as a family because of the joint income.
Yes, you get that joint income for.
And another thing that I've always heard people say, they would rather get mortgage for rent than get mortgage to live in. Do you think that's a good?
It is one of the best decisions. So the way I tell people is this: don't start to think about, should I buy a mortgage first for myself, or should I buy a house to rent out first? If you have in your mind that you want to be able to buy multiple properties within your lifetime, then it means you would not be on one property forever. So the goal is to be able to buy more. How soon do you want to start? So if you start quickly, you can then start with either your own or the one you are renting out. Either option is perfect.
Okay, that's fantastic. So now, to get a mortgage now, how much should I save? Like, at least how much should I have in my account?
It would depend on where you live. So like that affordability check that I talked about, it comes down to where you live. So if you're living in somewhere, for example, in Yorkshire, where the house is 200k, you only need deposit of 10%. So with 20k, your deposit is complete. You will pay solicitor fee, maybe 1,500 or 2,000 pounds.
Okay.
If you get a surveyor, maybe they will do survey £400. if you go for a mortgage broker, they might charge you maybe £500.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you could still be fine with maybe 25,000. Depending on where you
25,000.
live. For some people, it will be 15,000, depending on the property price of where you are living. If you are in London,
It's a different conversation.
it's a different conversation. You might not even be able to buy if you are not boxed up.
So let me tell you a quick story. You know, when we came to the UK newly, and one of the advices we got from the old takers or like, only like to build credit score, only like to look by EE, you know, be paying monthly so you can build your credit score. Does those things really matter? Credit score, does it really matter? Because me now, I don't put my neck for E. In a second E, you are collect with this now.
Value credit score matters.
It does.
It matters. It matters.
What if I want to pay up to 50%?
Your credit score still matters.
Still matter.
No be even for mortgage alone.
Okay.
For so many other things.
Like.
It is tied to so many other things, whether it is car finance, whether you're trying to get.
So how do I even build that credit score now? Because aside from the EE that I'm paying, I mean, I don't have any monthly. I don't use Klarna. I don't use all these payments, whatever.
Good. So when you are talking about credit, the score is one element of it.
Okay.
There are several other things that they look for.
Okay.
The score is just one thing. Some of the things that affect the score is your address history.
Well.
Changing address too often will affect your score negatively.
Ah, good. My score will be like minus 10.
If you go into a new address, make sure you update all your records and register on the voters register.
Ah.
So the reason for that is when lenders do credit search, if they check for bank say Lloyds Bank say follow this Southampton now, number 34 for 1 street. They come check voters register. Your voter register is showing that you are still in London because when you first came to the UK, you started in London. The lender will now look at this person has multiple places. If there is a default, how do I find them?
On my voters card, I still have my former address.
You have to change it. Every time you move, make sure you re-register in the new location.
So they don't trust you enough to.
Yes. When you are changing addresses too often, you become a high risk and it reduces your credit score. The next thing, and one of the most important thing, is repayment history. And that is where that EE comes in. So it's not about that amount, even if EE is collecting 5, 10 pounds from you. The mere fact that you are repaying every month for a period of 12 months, 24 months, it shows the lender that you are reliable.
Let me not lie. There have been times. There have been times that EE wants to take their money, and I don't have money in my account.
But he enter overdraft, they shall pay him.
Yeah, they added to the money and I paid. Oh, it has not affected my.
That one's still good. That one's still good.
Though, in fact, there was a time they even threatened me that they were going to ban my line if I don't pay. You know why? I'm not used to gbese. I don't like gbese right from Nigeria. But it's just like this country that we are now. Whether you like it or not, you have to live on gbese, on debt. So that monthly, I used to forget. I don't spend money finish if I want to remember and say, I never pay EE. But it never affect me too much, Abi. So in case you are out there and you used to default your payments, learn from this. Don't stop defaulting. So the next question is going to be like
Follow, before we move into that next question,
okay.
You mention something now. Say, I know they used to basic. I know they used to debt. I think one thing we guys make people understand, and I like it that a lot of immigrants now are starting to look into it, is debt. That word debt, the middle class and the immigrants needs to start to understand what it means. Good debt is good. It is bad debt that is not good. Good debt is the kind of debt that when you buy a house on a mortgage, you put a tenant in, the tenant is paying the rent, you are getting money back from
And using the rest to.
Yes, you are getting a profit. That's a good thing. And that is how you make money. Someone posted something recently about Otedola's book. I don't know if you've read the book or seen it. And he was talking about how much he owed Access Bank, how much he owed Zenith Bank, how much he owed Union Bank. And this is how the wealthy class build their own wealth using debt. So as immigrants, I'm not saying...
No, me, I know why I poor now. I know why I poor. So that because I dey fear debt.
Because you dey fear to owe. And that is the biggest way to scale up as a startup or as an investor or as a business person. So make I give you practical example.
Okay.
So say low frequency where you dey do.
Okay.
Imagine say your mind fit carry am. And you can get access to £100,000 loan. Imagine what you can do with it with low frequency. Maybe buy an entire studio, buy full kit, and just go all out. Bring,
instead of waiting till I save up that money. No, I don't know, maybe Nigerians, we just like that, we do good like, yeah, I bought this in full, I paid in full, and that bragging right now, I say, let me buy I'm somewhere to stuff like that. So I'm not used to paying, buying stuff on. But I mean, this EE thing now, I think I'm adjusting. Yeah, it's an eye opener. So now, I want us to take this because the essence of this podcast is not just for immigrants in the UK alone. Also for people in Nigeria who are also thinking of whether come to the UK or having some investments in the UK. The UK investment opportunities, is it just open to people in the UK alone? Or people in Nigeria can also invest in the UK?
Investment in the UK real estate is open to the entire world. In fact, there is so many buildings in London that are owned by foreign nationals. And the reason why the UK is so beautiful when it comes to real estate is that the market is so stable and attractive to foreign investors. So if you are in Nigeria, you can buy a property in the UK at any point in time. The only caveat with Nigeria is that we are on a list called the high risk list. So most solicitors in the UK do not even want to deal with you as a Nigerian, bringing Naira from Nigeria. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So I had a client recently. We were even trying to buy outrightly. We were not doing mortgage. All of the solicitors that we spoke to across Yorkshire, none of them could help us. We've had to then speak to some of my partners who found a solicitor for us in London. This solicitor requires a separate kind of license to allow them to deal with high-risk country. However, it's not a bad thing. No. As long as the money you are bringing is clean, there is a solicitor that can help you. They will go through the paper trail. Where is the money coming from? How did you get the money? If it is clean, you are welcome in the UK. Or with a developer, if you are buying a new build. While you are doing that, you will also be speaking with a mortgage broker or the bank directly.
Okay.
So if they use Lloyds Bank, you message Lloyds Bank and say you're planning to get a mortgage. They will do some checks and tell you how much they can loan you. Looking at that price, you will now connect it with the price that you are trying to do here so that it connects together. So for example, if you go and do your research and the house you want to buy is 400k and you love it, madam, like you can't go to the bank and the bank has now said we can only loan you on a mortgage 300,000. Problem don't they?
Because you need to have like 100,000.
That means you need to cough out deposit of 100k to cover the full cost. So that is why those two are the first point of contact. If those two don't agree, say, oh, I will give you 200k mortgage, the house now 220, joint application, it don't go together. You will then submit an offer to the person who wants to sell. The offer is just a written conversation. It's not an agreement. Just an email to say I'm interested in this property. I'm willing to pay £245.90.
Okay, good. If I have £20,000, or let me say I have £40,000 here now cash, would you advise me to rather invest in UK mortgage or buy land or estate in Nigeria?
That matter hard to.
And now you be expert now. No, me I don't be expert.
You ask the person if it's a client of mine, is why.
Okay. Why? Because they want to have their money like something they can fall back to. I mean, if I have £40,000 now and something happens, maybe in the next 5-10 years, I want to go back to Nigeria. I want something I can sell off and get my money.
If that is your plan, if your plan is to retire very quickly in Nigeria, then there is no point buying a mortgage in the UK to live in.
So what about people who think like they want to get a mortgage and when they are ready to go to Nigeria, they will sell the house and use the money to start life in Nigeria?
It's not that straightforward.
So it doesn't work like that.
It can work, but it's not that.
Because this is the mentality most people have, that okay, I'll buy a mortgage now, and when I'm ready to go to Nigeria, I'll just sell the house and use the money to go and start life in Nigeria.
It's not that straightforward.
So how is it?
If your plan is to travel and go and use the money somewhere else, you are better off holding it. So let's say you buy a house now. One thing everybody needs to be clear is property prices, just like economy, they go up and down. But on the average, it will go up over time. Okay. So if you buy a house for 200,000 today, in 5 years that you were planning to sell, what if the house is now worth 190,000?
But this is UK. The chances that, I mean, prices of things are relatively stable.
Yes.
So your 200,000 can still be your 200,000 after 5-10 years.
It can be. But it can go down, or it could have gone up. You cannot leave it to chance.
Even if you go down, your losses shouldn't be that much. And for someone who wants to invest in Nigeria, whether I like it or not, it always go up. The price is always going up. So you know that even your £20,000 now, if you buy land, that's worth of 40 million in Nigeria. In 5 years, that will be 80 million.
Yes. So the other thing to consider is when you're taking your money back to Africa or Nigeria, is consider the hyperinflation that's going on in the country. If you look back when you traveled, how much was naira to pounds? And how much is naira to pounds today? So someone that took pounds 10 years ago and took it to Nigeria to invest, hoping that it will go up. Yes, that house has gone up. But if you plan to still use that money again in pounds, and you are going to convert it, it could have been lesser than when you sent it before.
The value of it.
The value of it.
Okay.
So you have to ask yourself, now Nigeria won't they use the money or na UK?
Or should Nigeria won't even retire for or UK?
Nigeria you won't retire or UK? Or should you won't get investment here, then retire back home and still have access to that investment?
That is possible, yeah?
100%. It is possible and advisable.
So you can still even live in Nigeria and have your investment here running.
Yes, and a lot of people do that.
That one is better than selling the property to now go and start in Nigeria.
That's where that conversation we're having earlier about buying a second property, buying a third property, buying a fourth property. There are investors in the UK with hundreds of buy-to-let property. Now,
talking about buying several properties, do I have to finish payment of the first one before I buy the next one?
Follow.
You
don't have to finish the payment of that your first mortgage to buy the next one.
So
you remember the debt where they talk about say rich people, they hold bank every time. Now us need to become that rich person now. So you can have multiple properties at the same time on a mortgage. And you will get capital appreciation on all of them at the same time. And that's how to build up and scale up fast as an investor.
That makes sense. I want to ask you this question. If I don't invest in in real estate, what would you call me?
Ah.
No, don't look my eye, don't look my face. What would you call me?
Yoruba people go call am alaimokanmo. And the reason is what that means is ignorant. The reason is real estate is still the safest investment vehicle.
Even in the UK.
Even in the UK. And it gives you a very safe entry level and return over time.
There's a strong argument against this thing. There's a strong argument against real estate and this mortgage thing. What I'm going to do, yeah, I'll bring you back. I know somebody who can, I cannot argue this very well. Yeah, but I know someone who can argue this very well. Who doesn't support this mortgage thing? Who thinks mortgage is not, it's not ideal. But I would like that conversation to be robust. I'll bring someone. So, on your own end now, you support it, you advise for it, you want anyone that know what they're doing to get a mortgage and get on it, yeah? Which is nice. I want to ask you this last question. How do you know about these things? How did you know this from Nigeria?
No.
You got to know this when you got to the UK?
Yes.
Did you study real estate in school?
No.
So how did you get here?
These things, they don't teach us in school.
Okay.
You get to learn them when you start learning, when you start becoming curious about how to become wealthy. How do the rich people, how do the wealthy people make their money and keep their money? So I started to learn about personal finance.
Okay.
How do I budget my money? How many percent needs to go to housing? How many percent needs to go to investment? What do I invest my money in? There are asset classes. The safest one of the safest one is real estate.
Real estate.
And then there is stock. And then there is other things like gold. And then there is cryptocurrency. All of them are investment vehicles. But one of them is the safest. And it's that one that the bank will lend you the most money on. And it brings us back to that point of debt. Good
debt.
If you want to buy stock today, Father, you will not go to the bank and say, I want to buy stock 100k. No bank will listen to you. But if you want to buy a property, as long as you have the deposit, you will walk to any bank and you will get a mortgage approved.
I think there's still a lot to cover on this mortgage matter, but because of our time, we'll be running up very soon. But like I said, I'm still bringing you back. When you're coming back, prepare for a debate. Hot debate.
I'm looking forward to it.
This time I'm bringing you back for a debate, hot one, because I see a lot of people out there who still don't believe in this mortgage thing. Yeah, I'm going to bring them on board and we're going to have this face off. But I must say that from what you've said so far, I can perceive or see for myself that you know what you're doing. You're very, 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 deep into this. So let people know you. If they want to meet you, how can people meet you? How can they reach out to you? Maybe your social media or whatever. How can we meet you?
Thank you, Falo. I look forward to coming back into the studio again to have that hot debate about property investment and why it is better than stock or any other kind of investment. My name is Ola. Call me Ola or Olatomide. I'm a property investor and the lead property consultant at Secure Wealth Property Group. So if you want to reach out to me, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on all of these social platforms. My personal handle is Olami Fadipe. Olami Fadipe. Or you can search for Secure Wealth. And our website is securewealth.co.uk.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ola. If I almost added the word to your name, Ola Wealth. Because, madam, you look like a very rich man. In fact, I need to get close to you.
Falo, what I can also do is, if you're listening to this podcast, or if you follow Falo, if you contact me, normally I only attend to investors. But if you contact me on my team that you want to buy your personal mortgage, we will offer you a free consultation that would have been paid. All you need to do is mention Falo.
Oh yeah, ó ti lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, yeah, just say Falo.
You need advice, something is just bothering you about, just come to us.
Just say follow.
We'll give you our hotline.
You see, you are no worry. Thank you very much, Mr. Ola. Thank you for coming to this podcast, because I know what my eyes see before I get to this on this chair. I know what my eyes see before I get to. Thank you for honoring the invitation. I really appreciate this, guys. This is where we're gonna be, rounding off for today's episode. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'll be back next week, same time, same channel. Please subscribe to Follow Frequency. Thank you very much.